It's just how do you win?
Stacking being easier and more valuable
Manta's
as well.
buffed.
Manta's
It's like-
buffed, yeah.
It's just a good hero.
Yeah, Possessed Mask exists
Yes,
for some reason
right.
as well. It carries tend to every single game, find a Possessed Mask, go to the jungle, and come out with a Manta at 12 minutes or something like that. So, yeah, it is ridiculous. We actually played, this is a little like, random, but last night we actually played it. I played Medusa, played versus an OD. Was very surprised how cool OD can actually work as a function. They're not going to be able to pick it, of course, but the maximum mana taking, 28%, you get Ags, you actually steal 56% of the Deuce's mana with both Astrals. Put another one, you're losing 70% of your mana as a Deuce. Even your Snake, it shoots out, returns back 3,000 mana, but you only have 800 mana pool.
Yes.
And actually pretty cool.
And OD, 2 shots your poor offlane Winter Wyvern core.
That was Cap, by the way. I was
2
Medusa.
orbs and I was gone.
Damn.
It was pretty cool. I don't know if it's an actual viable thing, but I could see the possibility of maybe teams exploring it because it used to be, you know, that counter.
OD's traditionally
cool.
always been a hero that beats Medusa. It's like the counter to Medusa. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's intended.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And we look at them, they're setting up Dusa for success. They ban AM, they ban Nyx, they ban Morph. Nyx not as much of a just straight up counter anymore, of course. Since it is just
It's Radiant's pick.
Medusa, who doesn't care. Okay, so that also makes sense for that Nyx ban. And
Yo,
for the Morphling ban.
Snapfire's still in here? Show me that Tide Snapfire combo.
Big fan.
That one's fire.
Yep. I actually like Tide. I think Tide's an okay one versus Medusa too. Even though it's all about the Snake now, Anchor Smash is frustrating. It really is.
Damage reduction, I like Underlord a lot for the same reason.
Yep.
I think that Luna, Gyro, Medusa, you want damage reduction because they're all about spreading their damage out, right?
Yep.
So it's super effective to decrease their auto attacks, and you effectively ruin the hero's kit because if they aren't a threat, then your whole team doesn't really mind being in range of the Deuce. When we see Deuces win games, it's because you're just this turret of damage. You start hitting a tier 3 from the low ground and nobody can approach.
Yep. Interesting that they've just put the Ember out there though. I know they see the puck, they see the Stream Protector, so they feel like it's better, but that's very early to pick up your secondary core.
Take the line.
Mana Drain.
Good
Also
disable
decent.
against Ember and Mana Drain.
Yeah. Quite nice. Definitely effective. Good burst.
I'm not lying
10 seconds.
when I say I think Lion's a pretty good hero.
Yep.
5 seconds.
Dope.
I did that
I
all.
could tell you came up with the pun first before your point of analysis.
Yes. I could see you knew where I was going based on the slightly disappointing
Hoodwink.
score.
Ooh. So they got a break. Break versus Tide.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yep.
There aren't many breaks nowadays
Nope.
left in the pool. That's why I think Hoodwink at some point is going to prove to be viable,
Anyway.
just because it's a targeted break mechanic. I think specifically against a hero like Spectre, as an example, we'll see it more often.
You suffer versus like the gap closers and the heroes that can actually scout tree lines, which there's a train protector and a puck. So 2 heroes that are actually quite good at scouting out. I also saw yesterday when
10 seconds.
OG was playing it, the Ember Spirit versus it. Of course, now that Extreme has it, but Ember is amazing versus that hero. Like you actually just can't really do much of anything. You're super squishy. You get found very easily.
Yeah. I'm that was a hero I was spamming,
It's Radiant's
trying to figure out if it was good. Not convinced.
Not convinced still, huh?
Not convinced.
Yeah, I tried it a couple of times too. It feels okay when you do have some forms of like spell amp, and if you have a bruiser, if you have a super tanky bruiser in your off lane with you, like a centaur or stuff like that. But besides that, it's feel
10 seconds.
I like it with
I
Tide,
did like the minus armor
Yes.
combo that OG did with it. That actually made it look a lot better when it came to laning phase. So, but that is something that Extremum doesn't have just yet. So what kind of off-lane bruiser type hero do you want to see here, Mr. Fog?
Who's got the first? Who's got the last pick? It is Spirit, right? So I mean, Extremum's got to just show, without knowing what carry you're playing into, and you're playing into Treant, which is one of the better heroes versus those tanky kind of offlaners because you just offset and you can actually chase them out really nicely. Nature's Grasp, like even the 1 point in Grasp is ridiculous how much it does slow and provide. I mean, it's all about the Medusa at this point, right? So give me something that enables a little bit better. Give me like
10
someone that's going to
seconds.
buy some like Vlad, Solar Crest, etc., something to buff her up.
5 seconds.
Legion Commander's banned. No axe. You don't really. Is there any disable left that could deal with a tide? You maybe go for something like a Doom, but then your whole draft is real slow. It's gonna lane with a Hoodwink, so
Might just honestly, they might just default Centaur.
yeah. Darkseer, maybe?
Vacuum and Bushwhack?
Underlord, actually. I mean, it's
good.
It at least gives them like some ways to counteract team fight. I see them; they're not able to team fight like ever, right? Like Spirit has like the big edge on that one, so maybe that like aura kind of guy could help out a little bit. Percent damage too.
Yeah, I can see it. My only concern would be that you're playing into the last pick.
That's what I mean. What do you get? Like you don't know what they're gonna just grab up. There's so many options, I feel like, for Spirit.
You also just go with your standard Slardar. Not ideal into Tree or Tide, but you have a Dusa, you have an... I mean, it just kind of guarantees like... I think Darkseer is safest.
Yeah, I think Slardar is versus Tree, it's like you're trapping yourself. You're playing into the Tree a little bit, but the other ones, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they do have 4 heroes that put out physical damage of some kind, so Corrosive Haze would feel all right, but question of whether or not you're picking your offlaner to try and make his game better or fit in with the rest of the team.
They do not got a lot of time left.
No, they don't, which is funny because Team Spirit were the ones who came into this game with a draft penalty.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, due to
It's radiant.
being a little late to the lobby.
They're going to default.
It happens.
I think Tree thrives versus this hero, honestly. I think you can pick like a melee carry. You can even go for something like a fast-paced Ursa, and I think it's good. Ursa Diffusal, Jug Diffusal. Go for one of those type of carry heroes and just play the matchup.
Lifestealer, Jug, Ursa.
Yeah.
Your options. Knowing Yatoro, it'll be a greedier
5 seconds.
choice. A PA also could be alright, but it's naked.
I've wanted people to do terrible, but it's just unpicked in this region.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the Ursa. Yeah, I think you just go Ursa Diffusal, you get a timing, you go Roche, you get this advantage, and you just snowball the game. I think this is really tough for
I'm always a big fan of it with a Lion as well, because you now have like the easy catch, a ton of burst damage from your carry, and then you always have the Tide Hunter threatening the Ravage as well.
I think BSJ was telling me that he quite liked the pickup of Ursa because of the talent, right? The extra time on the Fury Swipe.
That one's actually
so you
cool.
could just hit the Medusa, disengage when he pops Stone Gaze, and then Fury Swipes will still be there on him. So, all right, Kyle. Now that you see everybody's picks here, you gonna stick with Team Spirit? I know they're the favored team, so they just needed a draft that breaks even, right?
It's tough for me to go against a squad that I think is just this much better than their opponents.
Yeah.
They have the team fight. I think they have a pretty good answer. Yes, there's a timing the Dusa could hit where you fall into trouble. I do hope Extreme kind of all in for that. You know, the Manta Ags Rapier. Just go for a W, try and steal a Roche. But ultimately, if Spirit can get an Aegis, I think they just win this game.
All right, well, is there, what's the number one factor to look for when it comes to making a Medusa lineup work?
Controlling the Ancients.
Yeah,
I feel like we've said
we've just protect the
It's been a long season. We've seen it. You just give them the Ancients, stack the Ancients, keep some wards on your own high ground. Try and pull. I can't think of a famous river a battle was fought over, but the idea is to control your side of it.
What's that movie? The Battle of Kauai.
Bridge over the River Kwai.
Classic. River Kwai. There you go. That's your river. All right. Well, I guess that's game one's analysis. We'll see whether or not. I mean, all of this comes down to. Or Extremum, with nothing left to lose at this point, can actually unlock their hidden potential. Let's go over to our casters, Moxie and Fogged.
Thank you so much, Cap. And
Hello. For this early phase boost, go Roche super early, and you have the team fight win. So contesting that early Roche from Extremum is going to be pretty much everything, and it looks extremely difficult with what they've drafted themselves. I think they might just have to give it up, and then you're actually playing into a Team Spirit's hands completely. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be a really tough matchup for them. Let's see if Extremum can surprise us, because this is This is their comfort, the Medusa, as we said. Like, it is now the comfort for everybody, sure, but they played it before it was cool. They played it last season.
Definitely been seeing a lot of that Medusa popping up in the pro matches and in the pubs now, too.
Yep.
Definitely very, very strong, but we'll see. You know, Team Spirit's definitely one of those teams that is able to figure out how strategies work and then also figure out how to unravel them as well.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of this is actually going to come down to the individual skill more than anything else.
Which Team Spirit has definitely shown quite a big advantage in comparison to these guys, these young guns, the most of them, except for Miposhka, the old man amongst the team. Not really even that old, but the one who's been along in the scene
Yes.
for the longest time is, he's going to lead these youngsters to most likely a good success in this one. I like that they're trying the Train Protector, and I think it's a really strong lane, especially versus like Hoodwink Centaur. I feel like this Ursa should have a very good time in lane, which that's kind of been the downfall of Ursa some of these games. That's why we're seeing it straight away. The laning just isn't good anymore. I know Brian's not a fan of the hero at all anymore because of how weak the lane can be, but definitely has some interesting stuff in the matchups, especially as they mentioned on the panel earlier. That duration of Fury Swipe talent, which would be very effective.
Well, judging by the way Team Spirit has been playing, they've been playing very clean Dota throughout this DPC. I'm sure they're aware that, you know, Ursa probably going to struggle a little bit in this lane. He's probably going to have some difficulties, but they have a certain timing that they want to hit, certain items that they need to pick up, because again, a Medusa is going to be a bit slower. She's going to need a little bit more time. She's going to need lots of stacks, and you have a lineup coming out from the side of Team Spirit that's going to be playing very, very rapid.
Yeah, very fast, and the thing is, Ursa's weak, but with Tree, I think Ursa is no longer weak. That's what China's doing. They just, you're so strong because if you get into like this trade wars, you get the extra healing from the leech seed. You have crazy chase potential, as we see Miposhka's gone for an Orb of Venom in the lane. So yeah, the Centaur might struggle. We'll see if the Hoodwink can offset it, but I don't think so. I think this Ursa is gonna free farm. I already saw he's got the build queued up. He's got the phase boot. He's got the Morbid Mask. He's got the Diffusal already put inside of his quick buy. So he's prepared. He knows exactly what to do in this matchup.
It's kind of him to let us know his entire plan right off the bat here. So we're not sitting here wondering, you know, is he going to do this? Do you think he's going to deviate? Is he going to pick up the Battle Fury that everybody hates right now, it seems?
Nah, Spirit's not about that life. Spirit is all about the aggression. And that's why we do love this team lately, especially. And good way to get into your opponent's minds, a pause at the start. You know, everybody hates pauses, especially lately. I feel like we have more pauses than ever in Dota. Okay, Extremum's trying to get in their heads.
Make them sweat a little bit. They look pretty chill, though. They look like they're ready to play some Dota.
I mean, they're already spamming their chat wheels.
Yeah.
Tokyo's like, let's go.
Gotta get some sprays down there, too, once we eventually, you know, get into this match. I keep...
I'm telling you, like, these guys are ready for action today. They're like, let's get this game underway. Let us crush you, because that's what we're ready to do. I want to see how clean they do play as well, because sometimes when these games don't, realistically, like when they don't matter for standings or anything,
They get a little wacky.
Yeah,
they get a little sloppy.
Goof around a little bit. We saw that last night a bit, especially too, of course, they had a stand-in on, oh god, my brain's not working. Who was it last night that was playing the stand-in? Versus Bald. Whatever, my brain's not working. Yeah, they were using a stand-in yesterday, but you could see that they were not really taking the game as seriously as they normally are. Let's hope that they do.
Well, I think there's something to be said if you have a very clean-looking record, too, right? That was something that I think Shiver actually mentioned. It might have been Shiver and T both saying the fact that, you know, these teams, even though you're sitting at the top spot, you still want to show, like, you know, you're consistent. That is the really big thing here.
And it's good to see that Extreme, they came with a plan also today, right? They were like, we're going to do our Deucer strategy, which may not seem like, oh my god, such a plan, right? Or anything like that, but I see the wording that they did. You know, they blocked small camp, they get an aggressive observer ward, they cut all the trees. So you see Train Protector can't actually play on the side there because they did cut them all down here. So they came with a plan. They came just recognizing what they at least need to do to win the...
I feel like that, well, it could also be a little bit of a problem for our Hoodwink friend here, too, because he is also relying
going as well as I think that they probably would have liked. The Ursa, as we said, is a weak laner, but I think the tree usually does counteract it. So Extremum coming out nice and ahead here. Mira.
Ooh, nice sit there over towards those creeps. Won't have any more bounces land on him as G's taking so much damage here from these creeps and from Collapse as well. They're sitting very low. Let's be careful here.
Must have regen coming out of the courier if he's still sticking around there as a lion.
That's what I'd imagine.
They can't get aggressive. Cannot get aggro. He's still holding a skill point. Miposhka may be waiting to see if he can find an opportunity for getting that leech seed if they do see a chance to go for him.
He's just gonna poke away over here at Chu. Let's be careful though. He's gonna get bushwhacked again in the rotation here, Sashlo.
He's slow.
Yeah, he's trying to get over there, trying to land that hoof stomp.
Should be able to.
I think that pause to throw out the living armor might come back to bite him here, as Yatoro has made his way over though, so they'll end up losing Miposhka, but Chu, he's got the scurry. I think he's gonna survive this.
He will. The phase boots are up. Will he be able to catch him inside the trees? He will not. Chu scurries away, literally.
The squirrel has outwitted the bear today, Fogged.
Yes. Yatoro, you got to be quick on those. You saw the acorn, you know. That's the big thing too, is people still getting used to playing versus Hoodwink, but you got to be quick with your quelling blades. Especially in those like areas where there's not the tree right next to you. If he's spamming it, maybe he doesn't actually get stuck. That's really tough to just time. Nice stuff, Extremum.
How do you feel about this Hoodwink? Because we've been seeing it pop up more and more. I know it's been very popular with MSS over in NA. He plays this here quite a bit, but we've seen like varying results. I know Rajix has played it over here, a couple of the other teams as well, but how does it fit? I think a lot of people are still figuring that out, right?
I'm still mixed. I think people still are not really like recognizing exactly like what items to build is one of the key things as support. I see some people going like the lens, some people rushing an Ags, some people going Yule Scepter. I think you have to just determine based on the game with what you're playing against. You can't just autopilot. That's the beauty of Dota. It's always adjusting based on what you're playing against. I think this game, the Yules is actually quite appropriate. Playing versus Ursa, so he's going to be a nice way versus that Enrage. So I think he can go for something along those lines if he does get the farm.
What do you know about style?
I'm okay with the hero. I don't know. He's a little underwhelming, but you're very frustrating. Like we even saw like Liquid yesterday, you know, this Soxa, even though they had such a rough game on OG, like Soxa was still annoying. Like they kept having to like commit extra spells to try to catch him in tree lines. It's a frustrating hero to play versus.
Saw some excellent bushwhacks the other day too coming out from Soxa, so definitely value, especially, you know, for that little bit of crowd control. And the fact that it does make you blind is also just a really nice addition.
Frustrating.
I think we have into Radiant's middle.
All three lanes, as we said, Extremum coming out a little bit ahead mid. Not so much. Tokyo is having an excellent matchup there, as he tends to. Full aggression, as always. Well, I'd like to see it from Tokyo. No points phase shift.
Yeah, we have the level 6s online here for the mid heroes. We'll be interested to see if we're going to see some sort of rotation coming out. In fact, looks like Tokyo might be headed towards this top lane. They do have a ward, though, so I'll let them know if he does meander his way over.
He's just farming. He's just hitting that stack camp. Collapse. He's got a lot of regen up here. The Maledict not going to be that effective if he's going for a straight hood. He's actually got the hood done already, so should be able to continue to tank up there. Definitely one more tap with the snake. Just fine. Yeah, I think they should. They do have the damage to make a rotation onto the Ember in particular because there's no points in Flame Guard that I've seen. So if they do get the coil, they have a rotation from the line. They can definitely net themselves a kill. But right now, trying to keep their lanes just static for now, not moving much around. However, on the side of Extremum, the Ember is seeing an opportunity perhaps. But this is a hood Tidehunter.
It's not going to be able to take him down, so we'll open up, follow up with the slight. Now that Mystic Snake and Collapse is just slowly walking away. Did put a point in the Ravage. He's got some stick charges too. They're going to try to go for a dive with this Illusion Rune. He's going to turn back around. Mira making his own rotation. They end up losing the Tidehunter, and Mira's just a little bit too late because they did have that Remnant up.
Nice move from Mello. Knowing that, I think he knows, right? Like, if you stay mid, it's a very high chance that you just get coiled and you will get set up on. So he makes the first move himself to gank top. Even though it's a hood Tidehunter, he's actually able to chase it through. First with that Maledict. And we see Chu. Of course, he's getting all these stacks set up for his Medusa already. Extremum. Yeah, looking good in this early game.
Well, they know how dangerous it's going to be if they start to get behind at all with the aggression coming out from Team Spirit, so.
It's all about fighting around that first Rosh. So it's also about, you know, Spirit actually going for that Rosh early on, which I'd imagine they have to when they go for this Ursa with the Morbid Mask already.
Are starting to hit that timing now of when we'd like to see the Ursa definitely going for that Roche.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to keep our eyes on their movements.
He can sneak it at pretty much any point. They can like look to make a move on one side of the map, and then he just gets smoked into the pit, and he will solo kill it. So they're giving the lane to the Train Protector for now. You can't make it too obvious, though, right? You can't just like, hey, my 5 positions farming safe lane. Hey,
Right.
you know, I'm just gonna go for Roche. They do have to look to make a play at the same time as it all happening.
And look at the Extremum, they're hunting.
They
They're
are.
saying, where did that bear go? They're gonna look for maybe a little bit of a pincer here on Maposhka as well.
Look at that. Both carries found a possessed mask. What a shocker. Every game, I swear, it always happens. They're rotating down
Yeah,
to Tokyo.
looking to make something happen here, Tokyo. Will go, drop the Dream Coil. He can't even get the stomp off because he's just silenced too quickly. So Yatro will get himself a nice kill. So they make a 4-man rotation down to this bottom area.
Did feel like they kind of need to start making some moves. Extremum is coming out ahead in all 3 lanes.
Yeah. Well, this gives them a good excuse if they want to rotate that Ursa, you know? It's going to be a while before center meanders back to lane, and they don't have the greatest of vision.
The rune spawn, Tokyo gets it again. The
Look at
DD
these
and
stacks.
woo, baby.
Woohoo.
Those are massive.
Let's put some more pressure over here on the Tidehunter. Clutch should be fine here. There's no one else to follow up, so he's just going to wander back.
He's chilling. They got high points in living armor too, so counteracts pretty much everything.
Surprised that they're still hanging out down here with the Ursa.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I'm like waiting. I'm like, he's gotta, you know.
And timing
You
is...
want to go for it. The only reason is because you want to get the secondary spawn that much quicker, because then you get the shard as well.
Yeah.
So it just enables you so much more as these Ursas, and it pretty much guarantees your defusal timing.
But no, he's just kind of he might be farming his way towards this top lane, you know, trying to be as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
But when you see those stacks coming out here for an effort, you have to be a bit worried, especially if they decide to try to invade either. There's a nice couple stacks over there for the side of Spirit as well.
I was trying to stack it, but that was way off timing.
Nah.
Not even close, actually. he like stopped his attack the first time, so we're forgiving that one. He's got Blink in a second. So, I mean, it is a very farmed Centaur. 11 minutes, he's going to have that for the aggressive moves.
Yeah, right now all the top 2
Is he smoking?
networks.
Let's look at Ursa. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
smoking.
okay.
There,
It's
there
time.
it is. It's time. So he's going to be able to sneak this. Like I said, I don't think Extremum can actually contest it. They do have Blink Centaur, so if they knew, they actually probably could because of that timing, but it's going to die too fast. And you stay full HP. That's the thing with the Ursa, especially if you have a possessed mask on top, like we mentioned that he, of course, got the RNG for.
Pretty perfect here. Medusa is just farming up all those stacks in the jungle. And
She can't touch the Ancients just yet, though. They're still a bit too strong for her to actually rotate over. But she's clearing the left side Ancient, or left side jungle camps. So there we go. Yeah, Roche. So 11 minutes 49. So early spawn will be around that 19:30 whatever minute time. So that'll be the big timing for Spirit, at least to really start overflowing the map. But they're already going to start pressuring.
look at Mira just running at G. Of course, they've got to figure this out because they follow Massage low, get the break its end, and then they'll get the slide off, kill Mira. They're going to just go to town over here on Yatoro. And he's taking a lot of damage. They'll be able to pop the Aegis, coming right back up again. And they're going to need more team here. Immediately. Following up with the Witch Doctor ulti was rooted into place, but the rest of the team is trying to follow up. This Waning Rift coming out, the slide through, follow up with the Ravage over onto the backside. They're going to try to follow up as Yatoro is going to barely stay alive thanks to that living armor.
Slight dodge the coil. So Tokyo, he can't actually get even a counter kill onto the Ember Spirit there. Extremum perfectly set up for the move. They already had the Centaur waiting in the wings with that Blink Dagger. They came to play today. Medusa now going to be able to clear out the Ancients, and she did. And we're up to level 11 already on Nefrit.
Yeah, Extremum playing very, very nice here. As you can see, the bear just going to work on Roshan. He pops out, but like you said, Extremum, they're already prepared. You can see Sashlo hiding in the tree line.
They were so ready.
Blink Stomp. Stuns up, follow with the Hoodwink Ultimate. Slight.
Easy.
And that's the first dead bear.
Does live the second time, though, at the very least for Team Spirit. And they did have to use, right? They used Ravage and they used Coil. They didn't net themselves a kill on that rotation either. Hitaro, he's going to back up, finish up the Fusel. The rest, they're still farming well. We do see because of that move, the net worth actually shifted into their favor because of that Roshan kill.
Collapse.
This is a tough one here. He's just going to, yeah, he knows.
I like how he just turns around because an acorn gets flung at his head and he's like, what was that?
I was trying to think of some type of funny reference, but I'm not clever enough for some tide hunter, some fish versus squirrel thing, but I got nothing.
Yeah, that's a pretty difficult thing to have content already ready and waiting. Fish versus squirrel.
Let me message Lacoste. I'm sure he's got
I'm sure he would.
But Nefrit's not getting contested whatsoever. Level 12, as we said, Manta, Possessed Mask, as always. He's going to have pretty good timing on this Aghanim Scepter, likely. So let's see what Spirit does, because the Diffusal, I believe, is now online. So they do have easy ways to actually kill and get on top of this Medusa. Also, not just for the Medusa. Diffusal, very, very good this game across the board versus the other cores, too.
But EXTREMUM's the ones that are making the aggressive moves currently. They'll go grab the bounty runes. Spirit is hiding in the tree line. Sashlo getting into position. Nefrit and Yatra poking at each other, but again, we have that Diffusal, so Stone Gaze will come out. Spirit considers to rotate down to the bottom. They'll go for their own smoke play.
I was about to say, that was very bold by Nefrit, even showing up to the bottom lane. I feel like that's one of those like very risky ones. If you don't have a team behind you at all, you're very likely to just get killed there from like a tree in the tree lines, +1.
I mean, they're going in here. He's sitting on the low ground. Oh my goodness, the waning rip, the hex, the finger, everything. That's a dead Dusa.
An easy one, too.
Oh, when you show yourself like that.
No coil even having to be committed. Still a very farm Dusa, but a lot of time off the map now. 30 seconds. Let's see what Spirit does with it.
Sashlo feels like the teleports are coming in. Sashlo waiting patiently, does have that blink stomp. Should he try to use it? G is here. All right, immediately blink stomp like we talked about. Slight, and they just blow up Yatro.
Both carries getting caught off guard. That one was a bit slow of a reaction. Maybe didn't want to actually use the enrage, but you can see the stomp. You know, as we said, the Centaur, it has a pretty long animation. Probably dies anyway because of the nice setup. EXTREMUM, it cost them a lot of rotations, though. They actually brought 4 heroes bottom to do so. So Spirit, they can split push the side lanes.
Split push and farm up. You see, they're putting the pressure over on the mid tower here. And also Puck pushing out the lane and top. Poshka is left bottoms, trying to keep the tower alive. And they do have to hard commit for this sort of thing.
They do.
Can't just wander off with that living armor. Ooh, Chu finds him over on the side. You can see the teleports are coming out, but not sure if they're going to be able to get there in time. Yes, they go. They get the overgrowth off. Poshka does fall. Chu getting chased after. They're not going to be able to quite finish him, but Sashlo does fall. The hex over on G collapses here. He's going to open up with this gush. Melodril trying to just get some slides off, trying to dissuade them, but they cannot do it. So G will fall.
They don't bring the Deuce to bottom to go for the tower push. That's actually a bit weird. I feel like you need to have Nefrit there if you're going to commit that hard onto the tower, but they don't bring him in. Now that tower, it's going to get healed up if they don't commit for it, so I feel like they actually have to just run directly back at that tower on the side of EXTREMUM. And Team Spirit is going to know this is coming. So let's see if they set up to defend it even longer, if they're just going to ditch it. I think now that the Medusa's here, you ditch, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think... Oh, go for the deny?
Oh,
the Mad Lad Mira.
Between the ticks of the living armor as well.
Very nicely done. Still, you look at this Medusa, 9.6k net worth currently, and it just continues to go up.
It has to. It's really all about the Dusa, as we said this game. Ember is actually farming pretty decent. Melodril, he'll be able to be annoying for this catch, but when you draft the Dusa, I think it's like the new Alchemist thing. When it's an Alchemist game, it's an Alchemist game. When it's a Medusa game, it's a Medusa game. So I'd like to see them build some type of buff, all the buff up items. It's all about your Medusa, so Lotus Orb, Solar Crest, etc. all want to be thrown out onto this one, especially when you're playing versus these disables. Overgrowth in particular, because that can be annoying. Even if you have Manta, you have to be careful of how you do use it, because there's a lot of different little things, like silences that play around, so... Because we're seeing Collapse, he's building for his carry. He's getting his first items, he's getting his Hood and his Sage, very value items, going for the Vlads, and then I'd imagine, Halberd. Because that's the best item in the game versus a Medusa. So Spirit, they're recognizing how to counteract it.
This continues to farm up in the... And we do have the Ravage still on the Tide. I'm sure he's going to grab up the Haste. Going to run into some people here in a moment. Just runs at you, turns around like, yeah, no, all right. But they did have a nice word on the side as Nefrit is being run out again. Ira and Yatro are here. They're just going to stun her. They turn away, say, you know, you're beautiful, but they'll go for the stampede. Oh, but they follow with the coil. Nice bushwhack, though. Buys them a little bit more time. Sasha's going to turn back around. Can they get the kill over on Stratachoku? Not quite yet as Yatro jumps in over to the side. Can they kill this puck? They're just chasing down Dusa. They managed to take down Tokyo, but Nefrit also falling. Yatoro's just running at Sashlo. He's got no mana left to speak of. Another nice bushwhack coming out from Chu. Buys just a bit more time. Now Mellow Jewel's trying to run away. No mana left on him either. Just running down here. They'll separate. They don't want that cast to bounce. They'll get a kill over on the courier. But it's already delivered Mellow Jewel's BKB.
And they do lose the Deuce with everything anyway. Actually lucky to not lose more. And they will at least get themselves 2 kills. But it's on their side of the map, so it's a fully defensive posture that they're going to be in. And already we see Spirit, they're forcing in the waves. As Bushka bottom pushing it out. Good aggressive move. Nice bushwhacks, though, definitely. As we do see Yatoro not quick with those quellings. You know, the secondary one he can't, but the first one he did see the acorn coming out. You actually do have a little bit of time to get that tree cut.
Well, like you said, this Hoodwink is a very annoying hero.
Yeah, very obnoxious. And he is going to go for Ags Rush, so he's having a very good game for himself. I was going to, you know, I definitely see arguments for the Yules this time, since they are playing versus the Ursa, but he definitely just wants to play his own greed. See if it pays off. Boomerang is quite nice to work around, just amplifying everything, reduces status resist as well versus heroes like Ursa and Puck, so can be decent.
Make some wrapping play here.
They've got good ward vision. They see Tokyo. They can catch him with a bushwhack from the tree line.
Tokyo's already regrouping with Mira, though. Feels like they know something's up, perhaps.
Their side lanes are pushed. Look at top. It's so far pushed in. They know this move is probably coming. Nobody's reacting to this at all. I mean, Poshka's just been down here for the last 5 minutes.
It ain't much, but it's honest work.
It is.
I believe is the meme for that.
He has Solar Crest. He's just been literally farming this whole time for it. So his Ursa gonna be very buffed up. Vlad's and Solar Crest now on their team to make that Ursa that much stronger. And he's got SNY. This is a pretty big timing actually for Spirit. Extremum has to be careful.
Stomp forward from Sashla. Blink onto the black lines though here. Coming out from Puck. They went to apply the break.
Flaps don't care.
Just keeps getting turned to stone. He's just running at Nefrit. Fight me.
Oh, the whole purpose of Collapse is really just to get on top of Deuce and click Anchor Smash, really, at this point. And survive as long as he can inside the fights to keep those buffs up for the Ursa.
I mean, he's doing it. He's going to have that Ravage up in a moment, too.
Yep. And he's full health. That's the beautiful thing, is like Vlad's has these like double benefits when you're playing with a carry that wants to have it, and also when you're tied 100 period. They try to push, he just sits there. Tower gonna be full healed from the Treant Protector. So Extremum, they're trying to make moves around the map, but Spirit knows how to play around it, and they're getting a lot more efficiency. 4K gold lead now already at this point.
Good stomp here coming out from Sashla, but there's no follow-up. The side of Spirit is all smoked up again. Collapse has just parked himself in this lane. Michelle has to be careful, as does Chu.
They can't do anything to him.
Oh, they know.
They do.
They've got their eyes on Nefrit here. Pushka again. That Stone Gaze will be forced to use the Stampede to run out Nefrit, but I hear Dream Coil on the top lane. Did they manage to grab someone? Yes, they grabbed Sashlo. So they're going to try to look for this fight here. Maposhka trying to get into position. Does get stoned up before he's able to get it off, though, as the Bushwhack comes into play. Yatoro is separated from the rest of the team, but over on the back lines. Break does land. Maposhka does fall. And they get the Witch Doctor ultimate off. Yatoro go for the Enrage. Everyone is just split up all over the place. Turn out to Tokyo, sitting very, very low. Should be able to orb out, though.
Lucky to only lose the tree. Tokyo is so low, and it is around that Roche timing. As we said, that 20-minute-ish timing for the Ursa. Spirit, they tried to get some type of advantage play to get that, but they did force some ults. So I think Yatoro, he might be able to sneak his way in here.
Yeah, I don't think he's even sneaking. I think he's just strolling on in. They do see this, though.
Can they prevent it? They have to. The Shard, the Aegis, and the Cheese is way too strong on this type of snowball lineup with Ursa.
They do have Ravage available this time around, though. So Sashlo jumps in. They have a moment to just try to reset. Sashlo just going to walk in, takes a peek.
They don't have Stampede either on the side of Extremum, so the fight, it's not really there. No Stone Gaze, no Stampede. Those are your 2 big ultimates on their side.
I mean, these snakes have been catching pretty well, but like you said, this is definitely very precarious, the side of Extreme. They've gone for the smoke. That's no jumping back in the pit.
That's a sneaky one.
Yeah, Nefrit
has to scout it.
Walking over to spot again.
But now
blink forward here from Yatoro. Gonna try to hex. Can they slow him down? They follow up with the Ravage. It won't connect on many of them. They follow up with the finger. Not quite enough damage to take him down, but there's no mana left over here on this Deuce, so the slide's coming through. They'll be able to take down Nefrit. They take down Sashlo as the rest of Extremum. They're gonna have to run out here. G falls. Yatoro gets himself a double kill, and this Roche belongs to the side of Spirit.
And that whole move they made top make so much more sense, right? They force Stone Gaze, they force reactions out of Extremum, and then they can sneak into Pit and take the fight when they have their ults up. And there we go. Shard online, Aegis and Cheese. Ursa is a monster now. Could we actually see really quick the talents that we did see for the Ursa after we get the replay, of course? As Nefert, we said he has to actually scout it, but his team is very far away from him at that point. So he's surrounded, gets his whole mana pool burned, and bam, Ravage catches absolutely everybody.
Poshka with the overgrowth too, just holding everyone in place. I think if Melojul doesn't have that BKB there, he's also just absolutely dead.
Starting to look real hard already.
Dire's top tower has some radiant.
And yeah, apologies. Could we actually look at the Ursa talents when you get a moment for me? Thank you. So I actually did not take the reset time, which is pretty interesting because as we were mentioning, you know, that's one of the better ways versus a Medusa because you just keep that swipe timing up so you can reset and go back in for the fights. But
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Opting to go for something a little bit different. He's playing very, very aggressively here. It feels like...
he doesn't need it.
I was about to say, I feel like with your foot on the gas the way you're going, you just hope that it doesn't come back to bite him in the butt. But the way Spirit's playing, it's still pretty neat.
No,
Tidy, 9k net worth lead. They're hitting their timings.
9-9, 9k net worth lead. Ah, beautiful. 6-1-1 on the Ursa. Have an excellent game.
Poor Medusa isn't being allowed to play the game, it feels like.
No.
She's just basically, go hit creeps, Medusa. Show up to fights and immediately die.
And they don't. The thing is that they haven't. Where are the buff ups? They went greedy, right? Chu is going for an Aghanims. They're not going for any type of Lotus/Solar Crested set to make sure that Medusa is strong. And there goes Chu.
There he goes indeed, the bear, natural predator of squirrels.
I think he's really going to regret trying to go for Aghanims this game.
Oh, Sashlo cancels out the TP at the very least. Not going to be able to do anything beyond that.
Yeah.
Frustrate Yatro a little bit.
I really don't like the Ags rush at all this game on Hoodwink. I think it's actually quite grief. Rather than going for Solar Crest or anything to protect Dusa, Yules to get the Ursa off of the Medusa. Like, that's your job. As you said, it's a Medusa game. It has to be all about Dusa. I don't see what Boomerang does in this game. But yeah, not a fan of that one this time around.
Side of Extremum now, like you said, it's all about the Medusa, and they're positioning themselves right around Nefrit at all times now. Have to keep her safe.
Who actually is anyone even building for Solar?
I did not notice anyone working on Medallion or anything like that, as far as I could tell.
I don't think anyone on Extremum is actually going for any of those buff ups. Which, sure, like, it's a little different because Dusa is about the snake, but you need to, like I said, it's all about Dusa. You need to have these items to make her stronger. And Spirit recognizes that, and they're all itemizing to deal with Medusa. See that halberd done on the Tidehunter. He's got a plate mail. Like, look how physical. His physical HP is ridiculous now at this point on Collapse. Say the EHP.
I have to say they've been very patient with the way that they've been holding their ultimates, looking for the perfect fight over on the side of Spirit.
It's clean. Again, as we kind of hope to expect from them. No goofing around, no funny business from them at all. Laning phase, of course, maybe not going as well as they would have liked, but it doesn't matter.
Oh gosh, they jump immediately and they just blow up Sashlo. That is not looking good. Mirror, though, also taking a lot of damage. They go for the overgrowth. He's actually still alive. Going forward there. Nice snipe coming out here from Chu, but now they've left behind their... Oh, their Ember is just toast. Melojul will fall.
And I think that's the Ags on the puck, right? So, yeah, this is looking pretty impossible now. They've got all the solutions pretty much to deal with everyone. The Ember goes for a BKB to try to survive versus the Roots and all these like little silences and disables, but now he's just caught by that coil instantly. And now Basher up for Ursa too. Medusa can't even stand toe-to-toe with anybody now.
I mean, it was a valiant effort, and definitely you saw some beautiful stacking coming out from Extremum, but Team Spirit, they're just playing too fast for them now. They got each of those Roche timings over in the bottom lane here. They even go for the Ravage. He just turns around because they want to make sure Nefrit doesn't go anywhere here. Gonna be able to go a little bit faster. Poshka's waiting, turns into stone, but the rest of the team, of course, is here. Chu trying to make a play, trying to see, can I keep her alive at all? Bushwhack buys just a tiny bit more time, as does the snake as it bounces around, turns them to stone. But the hunt is on Sashla, following up with a nice stop. They turn back in, they're just working on this Medusa. The finger comes out, one more hit, Nefrit will fall. MG was left behind, will also get taken down. Sashlo, they've got the spider legs on Yatro. He's looking for the angle. He wants to make sure he doesn't get bushwhacked again. Of course, he does end up getting held into place. Sashlo getting a stomp off, but the rest of the team, they're just wailing away over on the Centaur.
They can't fight. They have no hopes of being able to fight. It's Moxie. What did I say? 28 to 31.
20,
Right?
all right, let's see. We're starting to hit that time point, though.
I honestly think the game is pretty much impossible for them here.
They gotta finish, though. They gotta win,
finish, though. That's fair. And EXTREMUM needs to GG out, which could happen. Tokyo, is he actually gonna scout him? He does scout him, and now they.
Right past Yatoro. The BKB comes out.
The coil.
And they follow up. There it is. Nice bushwhack, though. They throw out the boomerang. They take down Mirmello Jewel, also to fall, though. They applied the break to Yatoro, but Yatoro, he's hungry. He wants Squirrel. And that is a dead chew.
Whew. Relentless aggression coming out from Spirit. Even finding the poor Ember, who is trying to do some sneaky business. Get away.
This map belongs to Team Spirit at this point. There is no breathing room. Look at this. G tries to just get a casual D ward collapse walking over.
Oh, they clipped the wave. They clipped the creep.
They want G.
Oh,
they are gonna get him.
Oh, they're straight bullying at this point now. He just wants the range creep, and they just glyph it for the bots in. Oh, this is, like we said, clean from Spirit. No messing around today.
This is a team that's hungry and wants to prove themselves at the major.
Yep. 15k gold lead. Shiva's now as well. Collapse getting some luxury items built up. We see scouting of the high grounds there with the gem. No vision available for the side of EXTREMUM because of this early gem pickup too.
Very scary. Oh, Sashlo gets spotted here. Tokyo and Yatoro.
Melted. Time to be stuck in your base. They're gonna TP down the Ember.
Yeah, I don't know about that, friend. She's just trying to be annoying.
He's like, yeah, never mind. Actually, that is quite a scary tide.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Is Dire going to let that man tell
All right. 30 minutes in now. Collapse just turns to stone briefly. Doesn't seem to care. Look at him. Just walks forward. Continues to hit the creeps. Tower goes down in the mid lane.
They're splitting all 3 lanes. They're showing all 3 cores in all 3 lanes, and EXTREMUM can't punish it. That's when you know a game is very out of control. Bloodstone for Tokyo. I feel like that's just a that's a fun item. Full map control. EXTREMUM came with a plan, but Spirit, we see who's just the better team, just better execution across the board.
I mean, it wasn't even a bad plan necessarily when you look at the draft. It makes sense. It looks nice. But again, Team Spirit proving that they really do belong in that number 2 slot here, as they do have a lot of solutions. I think they're one of the few teams, remember, everyone was picking Beastmaster, and they're the first team to realize, oh, easy, just pick Storm.
Just pick Storm, counter it. Yeah,
they figure out these puzzles, and it's been really fun to watch them this season, honestly.
Hey, Moxie, when you're a young lad and you're able to binge out 20 games a day like these guys, you played versus it. You're like Beastmaster and competitive. We played that already a million times. EXTREMUM feels like this one could be like a last-ditch effort here.
Look at Mira, the way he's positioned.
Because they saw that they're all split up, so they're trying to punish it.
They know someone's here. Immediate follow-up, Toronto Tokyo. We'll drop that Dream Coil. They'll just rip apart Ashla. BKB does come out from the Deuce, though. Collapse trying to get into position here. Dream Coil does snap as Collapse chases right past. They don't seem to really care. They're going after the Witch Doctor. G will fall down. Nefert is left all alone, and he doesn't have any sort of mana left here as they just continuously wail on him with that diffuser, with the Ravage. Collapse will get the kill, and they'll follow up with the Overgrowth here, too. They're not letting this Ember get away. The GG gets called in. Thought, you know, it's 31-48, but I'll let you have this one.
I'll take it. I mean, honestly, it was like the perfect game plan for them. They executed it perfectly. Yatoro, we see him there. He knew what to do. They watch these Chinese replays. They know how to time that with the Roshan, and not much else to say, really. I think EXTREMUM, their first like 12-15 minutes was actually quite nice. Like Shashlo predicting the movement top as well, too, with that early Blink Dagger on the Centaur, but it quickly fell apart, especially when they tried to push the mid tower. Tidehunter just sits there and goes, hello. He's even like taunting them and mocking them a little bit there. Yeah, that was very clean and well executed by Spirit.
My favorite is still the casual acorn that just gets tossed at the back of Collapse's head, and he just turns around, looks at him for a moment, and just turns back around, just like, you serious, kid? But yeah, you know, Team Spirit looking absolutely excellent. Very clean Dota. When you can look at a game and say, these are your timings, and then you notice they hit every single one of them, that is a team that is
10 seconds.
Well, Team Spirit certainly showing that they are still in top form and certainly high spirits after a successful Game 1. See if they can actually close out the series with a nice clean 2-0. Of course, we have seen other teams like Virtus Pro in this same situation drop Game 2 with a little bit of experimentation. And it does seem like Spirit is reaching a little bit outside of their comfort zone. And I do like to see that. And that gives me high hopes for them at the major, because that has been the biggest problem, at least of last major, was that now that everybody's cloistered off to their own regions, their own metas, it's entirely possible that your ideas about Dota are just wrong.
Got to diversify.
Yeah.
So going for a completely different strategy this time around. You know, they got with that tree last time. Now they're going to go for a Grimstroke lineup.
It's Radiant's pick.
See what Extremum goes. Axe was banned, I believe, last time,
Yep.
right?
The Manta build, I think, is what we'll likely see.
Mm-hmm.
It's typically, it's funny because most teams aren't running it that way, but the teams that are suddenly have it feared as a potential first two. So not really figured out just yet. It's one of those
10
shard
seconds.
heroes that people aren't sure yet what the power level is.
Yep.
So
5 seconds.
a lot of respect given.
I think you got to pick a good combo in the lane with it. I actually like the Phoenix Axe. I think it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's
the
pretty
hunger plus the spirits just prevents people from actually go for it. This is also another combo we see. This is, I mean, straight out of China as well. The Skywrath is probably that's the only region I think that is actually successful with the Skywrath right now. But they usually pick it when they do, I mean, actually they do pick it first too. So they usually pick at least when they see like some type of hero that is like mobile, but does usually fit very well since Voids, Morphlings, etc. are all so popular right now.
Do you want the Manta Shard build on this Axe when he's already coupled with Skywrath Mage?
No, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think you remove that because the Skywrath, the reason you go that build is if you don't have that like big burst behind it. Great hero to counteract stuff like that is the Wraith King.
Truth.
Shouldn't you maybe we're even back to going to the Manta Shard?
Maybe, honestly, right? Like
I
if you
hope
want to
so.
go for a secondary go rather than just committing your whole kit onto a reincarnate.
10 seconds.
What do you think Yutoro's chewing on?
I don't know. Is that a flosser?
It looks like it.
Those are those floss
Oh.
thingies, right?
Wait, really?
Right? Those are the little like spiky
That's
kind
true.
of floss things, I think. Yeah. I used to chew on weird
It's
stuff.
using
too.
it on as a toothpick.
That's fine. I used to chew. I mean, it's
Yeah.
better than chewing on like bottle caps
Did
or
you
whatever
know
the hell.
that? Yeah,
which
yeah.
I
It's like,
know people do.
Playing baseball way back in the day, we'd go through like 10 packs of gum.
It's crazy.
You just remember the Big League Chew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunflower
It's
seeds.
so expensive.
Seeds. Oh, the
Sunflower
sunflower
seeds,
seeds are
those
the
were the
big
big
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Big League Chew because it was just, average gum, but packaged differently. Made you feel cool. It's like it sold for like $5 a bag. Sunflower seeds, a really cost-effective snack. Highly recommended.
Frustrating to eat though. I don't like the shells.
It's like pomegranate. It's delicious, but in terms of difficulty,
Not worth the effort.
yeah. It's up there. It's there's a graphic about fruits ranked from tastiness to difficulty. Pomegranates and pineapples in the top right.
Oh, that makes sense. You know, it's another one for me is actually grapefruit. Because you actually have to eat around, like if you want to do it proper, not get the
Yeah.
super bitter, you have to like carve it out of the
My
actual
grandma
thing.
used to do that for me when I was really little. I
Really?
miss it. Yeah.
There's actually specific little knife things that you can use
Yeah.
with grapefruit
We
knives
had a
to
grape.
carve it
It's
out.
literally called a grapefruit.
Yep.
Ah.
I used to eat those a lot back in the day until I became incredibly unhealthy and gained no weight, but got older.
Well, I'm right there with you.
If anything, I've lost weight. Medusa ban, so just taking out the annoying heroes. Taking on the Invoker too, since they have Wraith King. Also, they have the Grimstroke, so the Dispel from Tornado is also a little annoying because of the Inkswell.
Our curiosity, I've been thinking about this hero a little bit since Broodmother's been coming back. Monkey King. What happened to that hero? Because it used to be really big meta hero last patch.
Over nerfed in
Yeah,
my opinion.
over-nerfed.
Actually, Ags just is dead. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't work when you're not close to it. It doesn't work when you're dead. Like it doesn't work on Roche. There's just like so many different things that just got like
Yeah,
butchered on the
It's
hero.
also just timings, I think, have changed. Like, Boundless Strikes cooldown so long.
Mhm.
I think I was talking to Brian about it. You just never really know when to use it. If it's too early, you can just die. If it's too late, you're useless. And you're completely dependent on your ult. And really, just Battle Fury has been phased out.
Yes.
You think about a PA, Battle Fury, Deso BKB, it's like, holy crap, we're just losing the game to this Monkey King Battle Fury. Well, he still needs Ags. He still needs a BKB. And it's still not a hard carry.
One of the other things too, honestly, I feel like this is one thing that it's been there forever, but dude, Quelling Blade. You just cut his tree, he's stunned for 4 seconds. Like, it's actually so devastating, and I'm seeing, honestly, supports are carrying Quellings more. Everyone's got a Quelling at some point in the game, so maybe that one needs to get, because it's not that huge, right? Like, it's like, is that really going to make the hero
especially when
balanced?
He's supposed to be the king of monkeys, and we're supposed to believe that you fall down from a tree, that you're stunned, you're concussed
for 4 seconds. It's a long time.
In Dota time, that's at least 2 days.
Yeah. Okay, Bristleback.
Yes.
Very strong hero right now.
Very good against Wraith King.
Super high damage. They go for their Witch Doctor again. I guess they really want to just play the Witch Doctor because they're not picking it into... we know these tanky offlaners are super meta and stuff like that. Maledict is quite good, but they don't even see what they're playing against, and they just grab it. It's a bit interesting to me. Looks like Mira, he's going to get to play his Mirana. Absolutely loves this hero. He's already got set up with it too, at least in some of the lanes with the Wraith King, so they can also pick some other follow set up for it too. Dude, at least he's being healthy. He's being healthy. How many people don't floss? Look at him go.
Yeah.
Take care of your teeth.
Take care of your teeth, the other one.
Stretch and floss. There's a lot of health maintenance is maintenance.
It's true.
It's not the cure, it's the prevention.
So Extremum, they look like they were planning this Bristle pick, though, right? Looking at the bans now, it makes more sense. I was wondering, like, they banned out the Timber, which makes sense versus Axe, but now it makes even more sense. The percent-based damage from Death Prophet and Timber, and then also they ban out the break mechanic.
Yep.
So let's see if Spirit goes for any other type of break, or if they're just going to itemize to go for it. Because we do still see some Silver Edges. It's quite rare, but it's a good mechanic, at least to deal.
They also have an LC available. It's quite nice as a counter to Bristle. You just force him to face a direction, and you don't really mind having something to clear off the silence either.
Yeah.
I like the Tiny, likely mid.
10 seconds.
I don't think Bristle is strong enough yet where you're like, oh, if we don't have break, like, we're just going to lose the game. It's more that if you have break, Bristleback cannot play Dota.
Yes, that's very true.
So I did the math on 4 seconds. What does that equate in the Dota universe into an actual day? So if daytime lasts 12 or 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So nighttime cycle, let's just say 12 hours then,
okay.
Right? So if you are stunned for 4 seconds, that equates to you being stunned for almost 10 minutes.
Yeah.
In the real world.
Damn. So if you do fall off a tree, but he's supposed to be the Monkey King, so that's quite a long time.
I mean, that does sound about the time it takes to recover from.
Is 2 seconds. It's legit throwing a sledgehammer.
Thank you for the math, Cap. I love it. I actually appreciate that one.
Yeah.
I feel like monkeys don't even fall. Like, don't they have a different? What's a terminal velocity? They're slower. They don't even fall as fast as we do.
I bet it's pretty close.
Wait, what did you say? Monkeys don't? Isn't that like cats?
Yeah.
It's all based on math, like your wind air resistance and a little bit of your mass, right? I don't actually know how.
I don't know how it works. I think
it's some complicated formula.
I'm going to say it's going to be pretty close, seeing as we're quite closely related to monkeys.
But they have a lot. They have fur.
You got your band.
Some of us do have fur.
I don't know if you've seen Fogg's chest, but a typical orangutan is going to have a lot more hair.
That's true. I'm not a very hairy-chested man. Legion ban. So you got your Legion ban? What? I don't. What do you want me? What do you want from me?
No, they had a comment, but I swallowed it because it wasn't appropriate for the broadcast.
Wouldn't be the first time, Kyle.
Wouldn't be the first time.
It's the filter I've installed slowly over the last 4 years.
So they're setting themselves up for a good matchup in mid. That's why I see that Bat Rider ban makes so much sense. That's one of the better ones versus Tiny in mid. Actually just ruins the hero. Let's see if Extremum, do they want to put the Bristle mid or do they just opt to put it safe lane? That's the other thing I'm wondering.
Depends on the matchup for sure. But I would think mid against Tiny.
Yeah, same.
You just farm the easy camp or steal Tiny's easy camp, pull creep waves over. Not really much you can do for it.
You like bottle well. Ooh, yeah, really strong. Love this pick, actually.
It's really good against a Bristle because you force him to itemize now way more defensively. I think when Bristles really pop off, they have either Vanguard or Hood, Sanj and Yasha, maybe even an Axe, and they're just running in. Whereas this allows you to just straight up duel, hit him in the mouth. There's not a damn thing you can do as a Bristle. You need a Lotus now ASAP.
Yeah, you need to get some type of like plate mail, and somebody needs to build medallion, throw it on you as well too. You need all the type of protection. Yeah, I like it.
I hate having it because the thing is, you're typically not far enough ahead, like to go AC or Shivas, and if you go for a Lotus, your damage output disappears.
Yep.
So it just feels awkward.
I like that pick a whole lot. Opens up the whole map too. Opens up Roche, objective taking. Still some limited tower push, only the Wraith King, but it's great.
Yeah, great lane with a Mirana as well.
Yeah, very aggressive.
And this makes me want to play some Dota. Should queue up when we get home.
I plan on it.
Slaughter Mirana like all day.
I pick Mirana almost every game if it's not banned actually right now. One of my favorite heroes at the moment.
All right, what's one of Extremum's go-to heroes for a mid lane?
Ooh, unless if it's not the Bristle mid, you want to get a hero that's good matchup versus Slardar, which there's not that many of these melee carries. They do get countered.
Do you put the Axe safe lane?
Okay, so they'll pick TA.
I was thinking it could be that, but so this is the anti-tiny, but it's not ideal into Wraith King solely because you get amped into just skeletons taking off refraction. I like playing TA when your BKB timing is a win condition. In this case, it really isn't, because if you get amped up, you're still not really super comfortable clicking people.
At least they've got ways to take buildings, good ways to take objectives. If they can actually do successful in lanes, which they have kind of put themselves in an okay position for it, they can take Roche, right? They can actually snowball pretty hard with this lineup. So I'm actually kind of okay with it. I mean, I think Spirit of Course is like the better team, and I think their lineup is well-rounded, but I actually don't mind Extremums that much. Limited on team fight, but great pick-off potential and great ways to snowball lanes.
All right, thank you, Fox. We'll let you
oops, that's right.
Get on over to the casting desk with Moxie.
Double duty. I agree with pretty much all of his points. Like, it gives you a win condition. I'm a big fan of just TA as a general hero concept because you can always find a way to win. You get Ancients, you get Roche, you get tower pressure, you have a dominant lane matchup, and really Extremum could come out ahead in all three of their lanes. The question is that going to give them a big enough advantage to stretch into towers, into map control, and then an eventual victory? Because later on in the game, I think they're going to start to fall off.
Yeah, that is one of the dangers, right? Is losing early map control against this Wraith King. Like, they got to make sure they get their Ancients. They got to make sure they get this Roche on. It's kind of a snowball line.
Yeah,
right?
And I'm concerned about like some armlet AC build on the Wraith King, and suddenly you're not able to kill anything. If you look, yeah, sure, you've got Axe Spin and a Skywrath, but effectively all of your core's damage output is physical. So if you can survive through the onslaught of a TA and a Bristleback, you're kind of done for. In addition, both heroes need Ancients to really accelerate. They can't both take them.
You're also very dependent on your supports for damage early on. Tiny's going to be hunting them down. That is going to be a fun little hide-and-go-seek game that is going to be particularly deadly for the supports on Extremum, unless they're very, very careful. Tiny's going to be hunting them all game long. Let's go over to our casters for game 2 of Spirit versus Extremum, Moxie and Fog.
All right, well, we've got game number 2 here, and it's time for Extremum to see if they can get themselves back into the series, if they can take a game off of Team Spirit. And it seems like, you know, the desk, including yourself, who was just there, seems like you guys think it's a little bit more of a chance this time.
I think they've got a better chance this time for sure. I'm glad Kyle actually mentioned this right at the end. There is the one problem is, like, you know, TA Bristle, excellent heroes at least to being able to snowball, but they do have to be careful about utilizing their jungle properly, because they both do want to be able to utilize those stacks to farm, get that super fast momentum going for them. So they do have to probably stack both sides of jungle, but at the same time too, you don't want to be like losing towers while you're both farming jungle. Axe is also honestly a hero that does kind of like to farm those Ancients and jungle creeps too. So maybe it could fall apart because they're all too greedy trying to get some jungle farm, but one of them has to sacrifice a little bit of their game, which is probably going to be, unfortunately, the Axe.
Is that going to cause problems, though? Because it feels like Axe is kind of, you know, Bristleback, yeah, he's just going to run in with his face. You know, TA eventually will get a blink, but I feel like Axe kind of is that main initiator for these team fights. He is the person that you build the fight around. And if he's getting sacrificed and he's not getting a good timing on some of these items, isn't that going to come back to bite them?
I think so, it could, but I think if the one thing is at least they have a strong lane, right? Sky and this Axe, it used to be a very common one because you just do so much harassment damage that maybe they can just try to play the lane with the two of them, perhaps. But yeah, I do agree. It could definitely hurt them if this Axe does not get some type of timings to initiate, because otherwise they just have to run into fights face first, and then you're allowing Slardar does is Corrosive Haze one target, Corrosive Haze another one, and then it gets kind of weird.
It just becomes easy. I don't know about weird. It just becomes very easy. But
weird for Extremum is what
that's true.
These heroes, which, you know, usually can be very tanky, like a Bristleback, just no longer is at all.
I mean, this is definitely one of those situations where I feel like, you know, Spirit's okay if you're just going to be running directly into them. I think it gives them plenty of time to set up all of their other stuns, arrows, you name it, they seem to bring it this time around.
See Chu, nice sentry ward right at the start here. He not only dewards the high ground, but also stopped from blocking the camp. So already we see Team Spirit looking to block out one of those. Tokyo eating a couple melds to the face.
Very aggressive. We talked about both of these particular heroes here being very, very aggressive in game number 1. The players, of course, not going for anything too defensive, and I have a feeling we're just going to see them run at each other again this time.
We sure will.
My concern, though, you said it's a snowballing lineup, and I know for a fact that if TA starts to fall behind, it's incredibly difficult to get back into this game and be relevant. Now, granted, we do have that shard, you know, we've got the ability, you know, use the thigh blades a little bit more, what's the word, efficiently, I guess? But is it going to be enough here if they get too far behind, if they die several times?
No, they have to it's play ahead, stay ahead, really, for the side of Extremum. I think if they make like 1 or 2 slip-ups in this game, it could quickly crumble out of control. So, gotta play clean on Extremum.
Oh, we'll get a courier at the very least, but a lot of pressure placed on G. Lots of stacks, though. A lot of that goo over here on Collapse.
Goo, one of the better level 1 abilities.
Oh, the wind up, it's set up perfectly, and that is a dead Nefrit.
He's sticking around so low next to this Slardar. This is why we see Slardar also just pick so often, especially versus these melee cores. He just dominates the lane. So Bristle, not off to a good start.
I don't think we should see Mira miss a single arrow, honestly, this game, when you consider what they have set up for the
Chu.
Yeah, Chu going a little bit too forward, and he's just clicked down or inked down by Miposhka here. This is been a little bit spooky now.
Yeah, not what you want to have happen with these type of lanes, where you want to be playing aggressive, but it's, you know, Skywrath and Axe, it's a good kill lane if they can't actually like secure creeps and get off the battle hunger, and both of these heroes, they do actually just get rid of it easily. With Grimstroke, just even with a stroke on a range creep, you're able to secure them quite easily. Shashlo should be able to get farm up here, but yeah, don't want to be dying too much on Skywrath early. You are literally the definition of early game hero.
Some damage being placed over here on Collapse. Leap forward here coming out from Mira, though, trying to body block a little bit. Needs to be careful. Probably going to fall for this now with the leaps. Is going to be able to escape. And Miposhka also sitting very, very low up here in this lane.
Starting to cut the camp. Cut the creeps. They're running out of regen. They're cutting off the couriers, too. Like, look at the 2 couriers from Spirit. They can't actually make the way over because of how Extremum is playing.
Yatsuro's sitting very low as well.
He's dead?
Yeah. Gets a nice spin off from Sashlo, and down goes the king.
Axe is enabled nicely, even though Chu did die. But Nefrit, he's getting nothing down here at all. 7 last hits to the 14 and 3 right now of the Slardar. Hard camp also is not blocked, so Miranda's going to just be able to arrow that over and over again.
Melodril and Tokyo getting to a little bit of a click for Tokyo, perhaps going a bit too far, though. Does have that water rune. He's forced to pop it, and Melodril not going to get that aggressive here.
These 2 players are just definition of aggression, really.
I love it. I love it.
Shashlo.
Oh, it lands. This is not looking good now for Shashlo. Forced to burn that fairy fire as Yatro. It's going to turn his eyes back around here to this creep wave.
Nefrit's just dead again. And you have a Witch Doctor behind you, one of the stronger actual lane supports. He got 3 CS in that time that he respawned, went back to lane. He got pretty much nothing in the lane. And they even get the pull off, too, as we see on the mini-map right there. The Miranda does get the pull to the hard camp. Bottom lane is a disaster. So now they need to really smash top lane. They need to get this Axe nicely enabled. And your Bristle, he's probably going to have to take the stacks away from the TA in order to have a game.
Just a bit too reliant on all of these stacks in the jungle on the side of Extreme. Although, Toronto Tokyo making a rotation, spots himself a Chu, and we talked about this. We talked about the fact that Tiny is just going to be running at these supports. And they're fairly squishy, so they're just going to evaporate every time.
Such an early move. Not something you'd expect as your lane.
Perhaps they realize the fact, you know, Nefrit's being handled pretty well, and this Axe and Skywrath lane is very, very important to Extremum.
Yeah.
So why not make these moves now since you're that strong? Get a faster blink dagger.
Yep. And the lane also becomes very difficult as it gets like level 5, level 3 refraction. You can't really do too much as a Tiny versus it. Once you've got Grow, you at least can deal with the harassment of that high physical damage. We'll have that like huge jolt and bonus armor, but a nice move from Tokyo. Nefrit's gotten 4 more last hits. But this is, yeah, it's never good to see for your Bristleback this early on. He's got 3 CS a minute at 5 minutes. That's super far behind.
Abysmal.
Shashlo's got Vanguard, so he still is timed nicely at least. So he's just going to do the cut, but then that also means Wraith King's in a free farm as well. So I don't think you're too fussed about this on the side of Spirit.
It feels like they needed to be a little bit more, I don't want to say aggressive, but more successful in this top lane with the Axe and the Skywrath, though. Because like you said, even though Sashla is having a nice timing on that Vanguard, he's still allowing the Wraith King to free farm. And this is a hero that farms very fast and also takes buildings as well.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm not really a huge fan of the Skywrath in this region right now. It takes a specialist. It takes someone who absolutely knows the literal full min maxing of it. And I've only seen, like, honestly, XNQ. XNQ from China right now so far. He's been the only one who's really impressed me on the hero. Chu, I've seen him try it a couple times now, but yeah, unable to really pressure the safe lane much. Stacks being set up. Looks at both sides.
Gonna try to make some moves. Do get the silence off, but Yatro will be just fine as he turns around, throws out Wraith Fire Blast, and is just gonna run away here. Over to Maposhka.
It's salved up. Tokyo staying in the mid lane to make sure he doesn't lose his tower. And the Wraith King also nice little play. Doesn't panic. He instantly turns, kills a creep when he's hungered, so they can't actually chase him more. Now TP.
Yeah. Maposhka trying to get into position here. Mira hiding in the tree line.
He's like, I really want to arrow this catapult and steal your CS, Wraith King. Looking to set up for the gank. Can they take advantage of this at all down bottom?
I don't know. I feel like Collapse is just backing off. He realizes, okay, I'm not as strong as I was before. I mean, this is nice for now. Right? It gives him a little bit of space so that way he doesn't have to be worried about arrows flying at his face the entire time, but he's quite behind.
Yeah, I'm surprised Collapse if he does stick around. I think you just jungle a little bit. Yeah, just hit some neutrals because of how efficient the bash is on those neutrals. You're able to just farm it and deny it away. G also has to be a little careful of how much damage.
Oh my gosh! Did you see that? That's just—it's gonna be a solo kill.
Dead.
Ooh, you know, we talked about the Tiny being scary, but this Slardar is exceptionally scary as well. Rotation now over to the mid lane. It's gonna do a little dewarding.
Look at Nefrit, he's getting bullied out as well. Oh my god, Collapse is just taking over the bottom lane by himself. He's got phase boost, so we'll be able to counteract a little bit of that minus armor, but he needs the salve to be healed up.
And he drops the Arteezy.
They're pinging it. They're like, I can't even get the range creep. Arteezy's taunting me.
All right, they will follow up though. Choose here with that Skywrath. They've got the silence down. Crush comes out. They'll get a decent amount of damage here from G, so they should be able to finally get their revenge on the Slardar.
G gets the kill though. I think Nefrit really needs to get every single one of these kills. I think it was just Maledict. But yeah, Bristol needs to get enabled a little bit better. Already 1k gold advantage. All 3 lanes still looking real hot. And how's our stacks doing? I see TA already starting to work on some of them on the side of Extremum. Yeah, very stack-reliant team. And especially when your Bristol is this far behind, if TA is taking your stacks, that means Bristol's going to continue to be behind as Tokyo.
That's a nice rotation here from Toronto Tokyo, and with a little help from the Grimstroke, they'll get a kill. Mira also getting jumped on over here in the woods, but they don't have quite enough lockdown here on the side of Extremum, so Mira's just going to go right back. And again, I'm sure wanting to apply more pressure here to Nefrit.
It gets the D-ward as well. Can't even punish him for it. No reliable stuns. They just have the cask, which you can just easily leap away. Even the Ancient Steel not enough right now. Good early start here again for Team Spirit.
The TA is doing pretty nicely, though. She has been able to, you know, stack the sides, be able to take these camps, so still on target currently.
Not enough stacks for me. When you're running with this type of lineup, I wanted to see like 8 stacks on the side of Extremum. I wanted everything to try to be stacked up, because especially because of how poorly the lane did go down bottom. I don't think that's enough for them to enable these two who are so far.
Oh!
His ring of health, no.
Oh. And the I thought G was gonna get hit with that arrow there for half a second. Mira, though, has to be careful. Couple stacks of that goo will force the 2 supports of the side of Team Spirit away. Yeah, they've got more stacks on just Mira alone. Oh, sorry, that's wards destroyed. My bad.
I don't know how effective the, you know, Vanguard is. I guess because he has phase boots, it's fine. But minus armor, you know, the way it works with Vanguard is if you have too little armor, the Vanguard actually doesn't do what it's supposed to do. You don't block as much because of that that physical damage. So he is still going to be really punished even when he gets that, versus just the corrosive haze that's going to be coming out. And I'm wondering if Yotaro just goes for full physical damage himself, like that armlet, Deso, AC. I think that's definitely the right approach from him if you'd like to on this Wraith King. Collapse easily can take jungle himself. That double damage bash, super effective now in the jungle.
So what if I swagger?
And they've got for Midas, so agreed. They know that they're against the timing lineup, so I'm all right with it.
I can hear Kyle in the background just hates that. He absolutely hates that.
I absolutely hate Midas as well, but I think when you know they know they're the better team. You know that you're scaling harder. You probably don't feel like you need to hit any big times.
Confident pickup then here on the side of Spirit. And again, they're just, the Axe is being allowed to hit these creeps, but so is Tokyo, Yatoro, and he's sitting just real pretty right now. 5.1k.
Shashlo's alone as well, too. Like, Tokyo's just going to burst him.
He is. Look at this immediately. Even have the Inkswell, the Avatos. I'll follow up with the stun from the Inkswell. Gets a couple spins off, but at the end of the day, it's Yatoro who will get the kill.
And Miposhka, he holds off on the stroke. He gives one of his cores the kill. Very important to do that as well. Blink stun, 11 minutes in. Squishy supports have no participation now in the game. EXTREMUM. Like, this Witch Doctor and Skywrath are just absolute food. Some of the squishier ones in the game as well. 1 armor on Skywrath.
I might try to make something on Mira here, but they do have to be... Oh, yeah, look at this. Immediately leaping away the second they see him. Get a cast bump off, and they'll follow up with the Mystic Flare, but there's just no way to hold Collapse into place right now as they'll follow up. They go back in. They had a teleport come out.
And this is the concern where if your TA takes the stacks, then that means that your Axe isn't going to have any type of initiating tool. So it's really up to EXTREMUM just to like walk in to go for these plays, and that's double Blink Dagger on Spirit.
Nothing like the position one ganking in the mid lane. It looks like Melojul should be able to survive this though, as G is here. And he'll throw out a cast, but he might end up dying for this because he does indeed get stunned. The Stroke of Fate coming in. He's got the Voodoo Restoration. They need another hit, and they're not going to be able to quite find it.
Barely gets away. Nefrit will at least get his time to get that Vanguard. Needs more armor. Armor.
Wasn't sure Tronsogi was going to go chasing after him with that haste rune, but you have to blink online. We talk about the fact that Axe is going to have to literally kind of stroll on into these fights, whereas this Slardar, he can take a fight whenever he wants.
Sure can. And he's going for the enabling build. I saw he has Solar Crest queued up next, so all about buffing up his Wraith King. He's already got the main item that he needs in the game, so I like this approach a lot from Spirit, especially because we did see Wraith King go more greedy route. Now they can be super active on both of the other cores because of that greed. So Deso is done. Melojul still does have a good timing on that, as we were mentioning. He's the only core really having that great game so far.
Out to Tokyo with the Inkswell. Does miss on G, but he'll follow up with the toss into the air. The arrow probably not even necessary as it whizzes past the face of that TA.
Clean again from Spirit. 8-2. Already starting to invade the jungle. Can't quite make it toward that ancient side just yet, but that is definitely the next thing on the menu for these Blink cores.
I just think it's so funny the fact that they're playing so aggressive, but they haven't taken any towers just yet. They're just running after the side of EXTREMUM currently because they know they'll have that.
Hey, look at Nefrit. Like he's
so afraid.
He's going for Cloak as well. Wait, what? I mean, you definitely don't want to build a Cloak this game.
He's so afraid, dude.
I mean, it's effective versus Tiny and all that, but you're just gonna get. I don't know if you have the slots to go for this item this game, but see if it does work for him.
Just a casual, perhaps. But Sashla does have the Blink Dagger completed now.
Okay, so now they can actually look to make some aggressive moves. Got to get some successful ones with Chu. Maybe even set up for that Roche because the Deso is there for Melojul with the goo. Should be able to sneak this one. Set up for the double meld. Might catch Spirit off guard here because he's going to die so quickly.
Yeah, no one seems to... Okay, Sashlo's just wandering around the outside of the pit here. Arrow tossed it. Does land on Nefrit. They know someone's in there. They'll go for a call. We'll be able to taunt up Mirana, but Mira walking away. This Roche is going down too fast, though. It looks like Spirit aren't too concerned about it here. So it will be Melojul picking up the Aegis.
They farmed the map, though. I think they recognized that it was going on, and they all did just... They all just continue to hit creeps. They're like, whatever, who cares? So Midas Wraith King not getting pressured. We're chilling.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Chu is showing top. Because when the Skyrest shows, that means your kill combo is not going to be there for the Axe. So Mira is able to walk up there and survive. I feel like Mira should 100% die in that situation when he pokes his face. Because there should be a call.
Sashlo missing his blink call here, so he is going to suffer as they'll turn it right back around on him, and Miposhka collects the kill.
And they're swinging over.
Yeah, look at EXTREMUM. They're hightailing it out of here. Going over to that high ground where they feel a little bit safer. G needs to be a bit careful. They have plenty of vision where he's wandering around. They could potentially try to jump on him.
4K lead already at this point. Effort does not have the Aegis either. Arrow onto the catapult. Love it.
I should change that voice line when she gets very upset. Oh my goodness, G. 1, 2, 3. I guess 4 technically. That is a dead witch dog.
They're camping here around
low
the
ground.
They see them.
Are they trying to bait or something? But the arrow connects over onto Nefrit. He just can't do anything. Toronto Tokyo, though, does get blown up thanks to that flare, but they've managed to get Chu. It's going to be the link up over on the side. The leap away here from the front. Yatoro trying to just push through here. Can he get the kill on Sashlo? Not quite yet. Murana, though, jumping forward, gets the kill on Sashlo. And this is not looking good now for this TA.
They're going for round 2. He's
Round 2. They're waiting. Look at this. The arrow right on target. A couple bounces, but it's still the Inkswell that will clean up Mellow Jewel.
This is getting ugly already here.
Oh, Chu walking right into collapse. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Spray
The RTZ. And no, he was trying for it. He's trying to go from downtown here. The blink is going to be off cooldown. They have, oh, look at this, the speed of a Slardar. Toronto Tokyo wanted it, but in the end, it is Maposhka who gets the kill.
They thought that they're in a safe spot there because they have the ward and the sentry, but they actually don't know that that other ward, there's actually 2 wards places. Oh god, that's disgusting. It's actually like on the tower.
Yeah, it's like, it looks absolutely horrific. I've been doing that in all of my pubs.
On the tower as well. Ugh.
Yeah, everything gets see-through through it too.
It does. Oh man. Poor Suns fan.
I'm sure he's just happy we're talking about him, honestly.
He's probably burping at home.
Probably.
Nefrit is queuing an Ags. Huh.
The Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay. Not a fan. Good item, but you need to get something else in between. You need more armor, as we're seeing. Like, he just gets shredded in a couple seconds. So I would have liked for him actually just to go for his own solar crest or just a casual medallion into something else first. Like, this itemization is a bit weird, but they are just getting steamrolled, to be honest with you. So I don't even know if it would matter what he does pick up. But yeah, that's a bit of a weird one as Mira. Beautiful timing on the arrow.
I mean, you keep talking about the station, just the fact that he doesn't have much armor. It's pretty difficult when you get jumped on by the Slardar, and we're seeing that.
It's all physical. Well, it's not all physical damage, but it's mostly physical damage when you see the Slardar and the Wraith King. So, you know, the Aghanims, as we saw, no, it is very busted on a hero like Bristleback. If you're able to take a long, continuous fight and get those stacks up, you're not
able to do it.
No, it's,
no.
I mean, the game is pretty much out of control here. It's 3-15. I think Radiance is already done for Wraith King. Team Spirit have effectively destroyed the whole game, where EXTREMUM wanted to get some momentum with Aegis. They actually lost momentum because they lost the fight completely as soon as they picked that one up. Spirit, yeah, vision. On point again, as they tend to do. Ghost Saber also now finished up for the Tiny, so more physical damage. Spirit Vessel also done on the Mirana, so their HP is no longer tanky either.
In some cases, your HP was not really there in the first place. When you look at these poor supports, the way that Slardar just jumps on top of them and just takes a couple hits.
Both supports just died, either one of them jumping. The Slardar or the Tiny. Even the Wraith King. I think if Wraith King gets Blink Dagger too, I don't know how you can even walk up as a Witch Doctor or Skywrath.
I think you don't. I think you hang as far back as possible and you pray that everyone else in front of you gets a good initiation.
He's committed for the Ags.
Well, we'll have to see if it works out for him here, but it definitely feels a bit scary going for this item.
Yeah, I'd actually like to see the Axe give him the Arcane Ring even. Just any type of little bits of armor. He needs it so badly on Bristle. Sure, Axe needs the mana, but the game you have to enable your Bristle a little bit better here so that he can actually survive the burst, the brunt of the force, so he can actually get consecutive spells off when he ever does get the Aghanims. Sure, they'll have more items coming up soon. They do have that 17-minute tier 2 items up now if they can get them.
You can see the way that EXTREMUM's just playing this top half of the map, trying to find whatever farm that they can. But the Moonlight Shadow and the smoke is here. Oh.
Run right by each other.
Yeah, they definitely do, and only one of them is going to be able to run away here. And that's going to be the side of Spirit after they do a quick hit and run on 2 heroes. Ooh. Okay, and rip it down.
This is brutal. This is just painful to watch, really. Ashlo's jungling enemy side around the vision that he does have, but Spirit precise hits as always. 3 to 17, another one. Easy kills.
I've been in these games before. I've been that support that gets blown up by the Tiny. It feels awful.
Melo's having, like we said, he's having a decent game, but the other two cores are just completely out. They can't do anything versus Spirit.
I mean, he's having a decent game just because he's not dying.
Yeah.
Like, let's be really honest here. Melo has been finding the, the camps to farm, the creeps to hit, but when it comes to the actual fights, he's just had to play it so incredibly careful. He can't full-on commit a lot of the times. And when he does, he ends up with that death.
Yeah, and they've already got items to prepare for him too. Like Miposhka's got Ghost Scepter already at this point of the game. Very early on for a Grimstroke to be able to get that. Mira always has the leaps to be able to rely on. Also just innate tankiness now from that Spirit Vessel. What do you do, Extremum?
You immediately get stunned, and look at Collapse waiting patiently, waiting for them to try to make a play here onto Yatro.
They've got Solar Crest already.
Already tossed out.
These Goos, not as effective either. Same thing for Quills, already kind of counteracted because the Slardar went for this early game build. Which I love. I like when these Slardars are actually doing this lately.
I mean, the fact that Spirit walked up there, hit the creeps, started taking some harass, and are still able to just be like, meh, and walk away, really tells you the whole state of this game.
Yeah.
No one dies there. No one gets punished for, being a little aggressive or anything. They just waltz on out, and Extremum's like, cool, we don't want to take this fight. Probably,
It's not easy. They're not really even showing the heroes that Extremum does want to kill, because Wraith King is the one who walks up, and what are you going to do? You throw your entire kit onto a Wraith King, he respawns, and then you just lose the fight?
Nothing left.
They have to find the Tiny. Tiny or Slardar has to be the ones that get caught inside the call so that they can blow them with the Skywrath. But yeah, Spirit's just not giving them the opportunity. Yatoro, massive SNY on top of this Radiance. Then he's going to go for Ace. So he's gone for smaller items in between.
Okay, some pressure being placed on Effort. They do get the call out here with the Mystic Flare.
But it's the Wraith King.
It's the Wraith King. He's going to be right back up again as they jump onto the back lines, as they just rip apart Chu. The arrow connecting. The stun jump forward here from Mira. They'll be able to clean up Sashlo and Collapse. He's sitting pretty low here, but he's still going to be able to survive. They can't get the last hit off. Nefert just trying to spin around. Melojo already popping that BKB, but soon it's going to wear out. Toronto Tokyo, he is so fast right now. He'll turn around, turn his attention. Sashlo buying back. Look at Collapse. Oh, he wants Nefert so bad. He'll get it. He'll fall for it. But mission accomplished is now Sashlo. He has bought back for this, and he is now dead.
It is impossible to recover. The snowball has been completely shut down. And Collapse, he gave his life for that kill. He wanted to just wanted to go for it there. He gives it well played. Bristol has Ags done, but yeah, as we said, doesn't feel like it'll matter. I think a trap gets the kill.
The trap, okay.
Onto the poor Grimstroke. They'll tip him for it. Collapse is having a fun day. 14k lead, 23 minutes. It's actually worse than last game.
Which is funny because we thought this draft possibly had more promise, I guess, than the last one. But again, they went full greed, and Spirit, realizing that they went full greed, matched with their own. Now it's a 14k net worth lead at 23 minutes in. And the game just seems almost impossible here for Extremum.
Yeah, they get the call, but it's like I said, you cannot get the call on the Wraith King. You have to get the support to the other heroes. He eventually does die, but look what you lose for it. You lose your entire lineup.
You lose Chu almost immediately.
Yeah.
Your initiator dies. They try to back up, but he's the tanky boy too. I can't believe Collapse, or not Collapse. Or yeah, no, Collapse when he survived like during that until he to the point of just the final quill, right?
I mean,
he wanted it too bad
for it. He got the XP too, so he'll say it's worth it, which it is, absolutely.
And then Sashlo just gets left high and dry. He bought back for that, and the rest of the team is already dead or just not in the position anymore.
Barely even a smile.
All in a day's work.
Tiny with a Manta. Okay.
Look at this. The Roche is up. They have the traps in the pit. We'll go for a smoke play. Gonna see if they can try to wrap around here.
They can't team fight. They're gonna. I mean, they have to catch the squishier heroes in the front line.
I mean, Miposhka is presenting himself right here, but follow up here from Yatro. He's got the Inkswell on him. The arrow coming in. He's just stuck in this tight canyon here. Followed up with the Stroke of Fate. These big old crits coming out. Nefert is just sliced into pieces. They do manage to get the courier, but Toronto Tokyo finds himself Melojo, who's forced to pop the BKB. If they had a little bit more physical damage, he wasn't going to make it out alive at all.
That's true. Gets brought down to just some Some hits and Shoshlo, he has to run away. Hightailing it out of there. Yeah, they can't win a fight, so they're too far behind. Everything's gone wrong for them. Shoshlo is good start. Only lasted for a few seconds, it feels like.
And that means the Roche is available for the taking, so Team Spirit will take it with open arms here.
Easy. Easy game, they say. X only has level 1 ults, too. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but maybe misclicked inside the team fight.
It's possible. Man, I just am not feeling the power of this Bristleback.
Those two deaths in lane, that's like GG, honestly. If you're playing with this type of draft and you get killed like that in lane, he had 14 CS, he had 15 CS at 5 minutes.
Yeah, and as a Bristleback that's supposed to be a lane dominator, that's a big oof.
And he didn't get to get any farm any stacks. Like, the key thing about Bristol is getting him to snowball and get that far ahead, but...
Okay, they should be able to get a pick off here. Nice dunk over onto Mira, so won't be any pesky Mirana to have to worry about for a little bit.
Collapse just instantly spams wheels in his teammate. They don't mind that death. It's just the Mirana who goes down. 19k gold lead, BKB Slardar. Cruising through the game.
Are indeed. Poor G, he's just trying to get whatever he can, but the second he shows up on a creep wave, Toronto Tokyo just evaporates him.
He knows he's dead there too. He's just like, let me get like 1 or 2 creeps with this cask. Look how much gold he actually gives anyway too. 356 when they're this far behind, still gives so much to a solo kill. AC soon on the horizon here for Yotaro. Level 20 as well. Some crazy levels coming out for the whole side of Spirit on these cores. What levels are Slardar? Do we have a level 3 Corrosive Haze just yet? About to. So minus armor. Even higher there with the Solar Crest. It's going to be like minus 26 plus just with those two. Plus the AC, it's going to be minus 31 armor on this Bristleback. So he's going to be at 0 when he's not... Actually, when he's not near a tower, he's going to be below 0.
That's terrifying at this point in the game.
Yeah, he's going to have like... Actually, like 700 effective, maybe less than 700 effective HP versus the physical.
They're just trying to... Toronto Tokyo's feeling himself right now, man. He is in the base. He's got one tiny little creepy friend. Jumps forward. G buys himself a bit more time, but eventually will just pop. That first here. The rest of the team, though, I don't know about this. Yeah, Tro jumping forward. They do have the Malediction over on Tokyo, and the BKB coming out here from Melojoule, but he's already popped it, and they're not even chasing after him right now.
Nefrit has to be very careful. They actually missed the arrow.
Shoshlo finds collapse, but they do take down Shu. Nefrit is just getting clicked down here. The jump forward, the tree coming in. And now the chase is on. They're going to push Extremum all the way back into their base and out of the game with the GG call.
Easy for Spirit again. Just clean. Great draft. I really love that they actually finish it off with that Slardar. And yeah, it's just a stomping, really. They just whooped from lane to lane, killing everything. The TA got farmed, but it was just the TA, as we saw. Shoshlo also buying back in mid, killing his net worth. And yeah, Extremum totally disconnected, and Team Spirit again just looking like a very